Welcome to another day in Clashology School. We're talking about Town Hall 10 3-stars, and we'll actually show some Town Hall 9 3-stars, so stick around or jump ahead. But this is a process video. So here is the first hit on this base. Now, lots of times you don't always have to scout the base yourself. You can use another person's plan, and that's okay. But I used this one, and it was beautiful. Fresh hit on the base as well, so very hard to do. So I took this plan and changed it just a bit because I noticed a couple things. Now, look at this amazing kill squad here. I'm going to pause it because, well, I will keep it going, but look how the king is used to funnel. So if you can spot some of those things to push the queen inside the base, and only the queen's job is to get down to air defense. Air defense and gonna get that expo. So great value from the king and queen together working in unison, and that is what you want to look for. Again, you don't always have to take down inferno towers. That is not always the thing you have to do. Now, look what I noticed here. Put in the hound just a little bit late, so I'm gonna make sure I put the hound in a little bit early so I won't lose a loon, so that's gonna help me out. And the second thing I'm gonna do, he put a haste here at 3 o'clock, I'm gonna put a rage. Just to help to get the queen down, because on this attack the queen did not drop. So sometimes you don't always have to change the location of it, but pretty much everything's going to be the same on my end, yet I'm going to put a rage at the queen side because she stayed up, and thus he almost had it down. It was 95%. Now look at this great action here. Bringing in 3 sets of loons, that way these wizard towers won't wreck everything. Now I will put an earlier haste just to make sure those wizard towers will not take down my loons as quickly. And those are the tweaks I'm going to look for. And of course I have minions for cleanup, so no biggie there. No freeze, you notice, no freeze. These level 2 infernos, guys, you don't need the freeze, but this came down to the wire. So the main reason I changed the spell compilation up just a little bit because the queen stayed alive. Everything else is going to be the same, my friends. Every single thing else, and you got to look for those things. Realize, okay, queen didn't drop, so what I'm going to do? Okay, I'm going to change it. I'm going to put a rage down at 3 o'clock. That will help some of the pups. That will help the skeleton spells. But you notice everything's the same. Now, I actually made a big blunder here. Just a little late on the giant. No! I thought, oh, great. The queen won't get down the expo. Thankfully, though, I was very patient on her ability. Again, you've got to make sure you use the ability at the very last second. I waited as long as possible, right down to the wire. I could have waited one more second. But if I'd gone too soon on the ability, she would not have gotten that one hit on the expo that was sorely needed, that extra firepower from the ability. And if the expo didn't drop, it would have caused more problems for me. But what I've got going here, I put in my, now I noticed here, guys, on the first attack, this cannon did not drop soon enough. Too many of the loons shifted off to the cannon, so I put these loons down very quickly. Now, everything else is pretty much going the same as I wanted it before. I'm about to put the rage down, then after the rage, and when I see the queen coming up, I'm going to put the skeleton spells. I have the haste here with a bunch of loons on purpose here, and look what happened. Now, this inferno tower did stay up a little bit longer than I was hoping for, but you know, that's what happened because I didn't have a rage there. But I put in some side loons on the mortar, more side loons over there, and here comes the trickle in of the loons on the last 9 perimeter section. Now, I'm very patient with this rage. Again, maybe a lot of people would have put it here, but I was like, you know what? I need it for the inferno tower. That was my goal. So I put a haste down. Hasted up some loons, I stayed alive. Then my final rage is going to be right over this core section. Very important. You can tell, look at my loons, they're so weak indeed. But I've got a hound up, I've got plenty of loons and plenty of time, and look at all my cleanup. I got all the cleanup down. I've got my minion. Look at those little suckers. The skeleton spell is out there. So this was smashed. Yes, I could have kept some of my loons up a little bit better. I did misplace my haste spell over this inferno tower. I didn't need it there. That was a mistake. You know, even with you can make mistakes in attacks, but you can't make too many when you're hitting 10v10s, my friends, or else the piper will come calling, as they say. The piper will come calling. Now we're moving on to some Town Hall 9 action. I want to show us a variety of attacks here, and this first one is coming in hot with the queen walk, and not a queen walk. What am I talking about? A lava loon, it looks like. And is he going to do the healer archer trick? Yes, he's going to. Oh, no! Okay, whew, that was close. Thought the archers were going to drift away. That would have been disastrous. Now that is a trick that's used quite a bit. Now let's see what kind of went wrong here, what went right, and let's kind of tweak and see how the process of the 3-star works going in at this base. Now he's going to come in right for the queen on this side. However, using a kill squad, it looks like just king and queen. So if the queen doesn't get any of these air defenses down, this is going to be some troubles. Now, see, that's what I'm talking about. Look, queen did not drop, and I don't know if she's going to drop by the enemy queen, but I think, let's speed this one up just a little bit. Oh no, he popped the hound. Well, that was a mistake. That was a big mistake. Oh no. Okay. Well, actually, the kill squad did great work. Actually, pretty much everything got down as needed. Now, let's see on the loom placement where is going to be happening here. See how it's going to go. Now, it looks like this wizard tower is going to cause some serious problems, and he didn't quite get the funnel in over here, and that's exactly what's happening. No funnel. Guys, that is what's happening. So that was the first. That was the mistake. That was it. That cost the raid right there. Not funneling at 6 o'clock. Let's rewind that. So this is what I was talking about. The funneling. He did not get down these the mortars right here and this air defense at the 6 o'clock. So what happens is these the loons, as I shift over here, they were not cleared, so they're just going to circle around the outside base and not push into the core, thus the fail. Again, I've talked about that before, so make sure you keep an eye out on that one, my friends. Keep an eye out on that one. Now, I'm going to show you another attack here. Now, this was a close one. Actually, let's pick another one. Let's pick the Blizz. Now, this is your standard witch walk, or a go wee wee. Lots of names for it. This is many names indeed. The witch slap, what have you. Now this is a little different than the witch slap because a lot of times witch slaps use a lot more healers. This time using golems and not all mass witches. He does have a couple healers, but you got to make sure you put the healers down after the air defense. So what happened was, I think, a little misplacement on the golems. I would have liked to put a golem up here at 9 o'clock. He lost quite a few witches. You can tell. Look how many witches I think he lost 2 up there, or at least 1, and just not quite what you want here to be happening. Not quite the entry point that I was liking. Bowlers wandered around. Whoa! Bowlers wandered around, and just kind of everything's going chaotic. Nothing's really going to plan. And because the bowlers wandered around, nothing's happening up top. King and queen don't have the protection they need. Bowlers aren't taking out the wizard towers. And that, my friends, there you go. That happens sometimes. Don't worry. You know, Blizz is a solid attacker. You just, you know, sometimes you have bad days. But look at this. Look at this one. This is a more standardized witch walk base. And let's see the difference between the air and the ground. Now, we had I think someone also did a queen walk into a LaLo on this one. We failed it a couple times, unfortunately, but that's what happened in the end. Now, why did he choose on this side of the base rather than the other? Or, I mean, on this side, yeah. Because before it came from 9 to 6, and this one's coming from 12 to 9. What's the difference? Well, I kind of like this entry point, and the reason I like it, you get right into the queen section right away. So by the time your queen she's locking onto golems and not, say, your bowlers as they push further into the base. And because the funnel was made here, he was able to get this quite a bit of damage done. Now, again, this base, you can only enter on a couple sides of the base. The most dangerous sides, of course, are the flanks, because you got the wizard towers there and some of the mortars on the outside. And of course, he had Teslas on the outside as well. But because he's got the healers up top, it's 12, gonna take down quite a bit of stuff here. And unfortunately, they did get left on the hound. That was kind of unfortunate, but he's got a poison for it. And the queen, with her ability, able to take this base down easy. Look at all that powerhouse. Pretty much the only thing left over in this base are the Teslas. So again, what was the difference? I think the first witch attack, you noticed the funnel wasn't there. His bowlers wandered off. big deal. If that happens, it's very hard to recover. You got to make sure your bowlers go into the core because they really rip, especially on this base, they rip through so many expos, the wizard towers and things. So just come on a side that it's not the easiest side to funnel, but the side that is easy to funnel, plus can you get those wizard towers or maybe a couple expos. You typically don't want your witches to be trapped or being taken out by the expos, so you want to get those down early in wizard towers. Now of course on this one you have healers to protect them, so even if for whatever reason, well, the only way that the witches would die is if the healers died by black bombs, but a lot of people still aren't putting black bombs on the outer perimeter because it's not going to be good for air attacks, if that makes sense. So that was the main difference of funneling in that base. And well, I guess let's just do another one. Let's just do another one, shall we? Let's give a hit for you, shall we? Let's watch Yu's attack. Doing a queen walk into a go-ho. I like it a lot. Now, can you do multiple strategies here? Yes, you could. You could actually do a Widowmaker attack here. I'm kind of seeing a Widowmaker. Look at that. Look at these beautiful jumps to get all 4 air defenses down. And on the back end, you won't even, your dragons could get it, or your queen would get it eventually. Widowmaker could work, but choosing a queen walk. Now, would this be the strongest queen walk? I mean, I don't know. The reason I say I'm a little hesitant of the queen walk, obviously you 3-starred it, but not so many structures on the outside perimeter. This base is kind of set up where you can't reach any of the expos. Yes, he got some archer towers down, and he actually got fortunate that the Teslas were there. I can't remember if this was a second hit or not, but nonetheless, very nicely done as far as coming in on the Tesla side. Now, if it was a random luck of the Tesla draw, that was a great queen walk to come on there. That would be one benefit of the queen walk, but on this sort of base, I kind of like you could do a 3 golem push here because one jump right here in the middle opens up so much of the base. It's kind of unheard of. So much of it is open. Bowlers even drifting to the outside and still able to take this down. Of course, when you're using 2 jump spells, you don't have heal spells for your hogs. So that means they're back in. But the great thing about this base, or the weak thing about this base, look at that. The defenses on the outer perimeter. So the hogs are just able to go straight to the defenses. No problemo at all. Queen still has healers on her. He still's got 5 hogs on the back end. Yu's just showing us how it's done. Nicely done. Of course, just because I say a queen walk isn't the best doesn't mean it's, I mean, he still got the 3-star. I'm saying you got to just make sure the queen walk gets a great value on these hits, and just keep an eye out for that. He did get the value. If the Teslas weren't there, the value would not have been there for the queen, but since the Teslas were there, the value was upped without a doubt. Very nicely done, my friend. Very nicely done. Let's hey, let's give Blizz some hope, right? Blizz. Okay, look at this, showing us the witch walk. Now this is the witch slap, witch walk, what have you. Lots of different names for it, but let's see him get this job done. Now I like the entry point here. Right into the core here, just gonna push into the wizard tower. Now, why is this a good witch base to use? Look at the wizard towers. See how they're all in the inside? They're not gonna be doing much damage to your witches, so that's a good sign for it. Yes, the expos are on the perimeter, but this expo actually can be reached by the witches, so that's no good. This one could cause problems, and of course the bomb tower on the outside will cause problems as well, but you know, that's how the job gets done. We'll just kind of speed this one up. I really like, of course, healers on the outside, keeping the witches alive at 3 o'clock, and then in the kill squad coming in hot, gonna take down the middle core section. And oh my goodness, the bowlers walked! The bowlers walked, and he was still able to get this down. Whoa, that was a mistake. But again, the reason why this one worked out well, again, the wizard towers, they're not in prime locations. This is not an anti-bowler witch base or an anti-witch base. It's just not gonna hold up well, just how it's designed. I think this is more of an anti-LaLo base. You can tell it kind of is, and it's just gonna give this, give the defender, or give the attacker much easier to get this base down. So keep an eye out for that. Yes, you can't defend against every base, but at least you can spot bases to use witch walks on. and it will help you. Watch my witch walk video, witch slap, what have you, and you will become a successful attacker. But there you go, yet another hit, attacks, awesomeness, and see you next time. Halo out.